Hi, welcome to the Mobile Motorbike Mechanic. I'm Steve. Today you join us in sunny Birmingham. On the way to a little job to flush out a set of brakes and a clutch line on a Ducati Monster for a customer. So we'll see you when we get there. So here we are, Ducati Monster. What we're working on today is changing out the master cylinder reservoirs on both the clutch and the front brake. We're also going to be bleeding through both of these hydraulic systems. So we'll get into it. What we're going to do is we're going to extract all of the fluid from the reservoirs with our vacuum extractor, and then replace the reservoirs and then bleed through all new fluid into the hydraulic systems. So this is our hydraulic vacuum machine. If you come and have a look at this, it's very noisy, by the way. There you go. One reservoir empty. We'll just do the other one. You don't want to get brake fluid on your paintwork, so whenever you're working around brakes and stuff, make sure you've got plenty of cloths. Come and have a look at this. Nice and close. You can see the sludge that's in the bottom of that. That really should not be there. So we'll get rid of all that as well. We extracted the fluid out of the reservoir, so we're now just going to undo the clip and take the hose off. There we go. Yeah, we can see in there, it was proper filthy. So that's going in the bin. Okay, so we've got some genuine Ducati parts. These are the hoses that connect the master cylinder to the reservoir itself. As you can see, this is the old one. So all we're going to do is just going to cut that to the right length. Add a couple of clips, put the new reservoir on. Back in a second. So that's the clutch master cylinder reservoir replaced. Now we'll do the brake one. Same as the clutch reservoir, we're just going to replace this bit of hose. We've got our new reservoir, and we'll get that all swapped over. So we'll do that now. So that's both. Okay, so that's both reservoirs replaced now. So we'll just bleed the brakes, bleed the clutch through, and then, oh, we also need to replace these levers. So we'll do that first. There we are. So the replacement lever that this customer's given us has got a completely different end to the lever that's on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this part of the lever off, reuse this bit, throw that bit away, and replace with a new lever there. So we'll get into that. Okay, so that's the lever changed over. As you can see, it was gold, it's now silver. That's the new lever all fitted on there. So we'll just get that fitted in. So now we've changed the levers over, we'll get to bleeding the system. So we're going to bleed off the clutch system now. This has got an Oberon aftermarket clutch slave cylinder, but they're all pretty much the same. There we go. So that's the bleed nipple released. So what we're going to do now, we'll fill the master cylinder up with fluid, .4 brake or clutch fluid. We'll connect our vacuum bleeder onto this, open the vacuum bleeder up, and just keep topping it up until we get a clear, constant flow of fluid coming through. Actually, can you see that in there? That's all the old rubbish that was in the clutch master cylinder reservoir. So yeah, definitely need to clean it out. Right. The reservoir there is full. I don't know if you can see that on camera because it's pretty clear. It looks like it's nice and clean. .4 brake fluid this is. So that's full. We'll switch this on, open the valve, and let the old stuff come out. As this goes down, watch the fluid level going down. And now we'll do it. And there we go. That's the clutch system bled. Nice and easy on these bikes, nice and easy on hydraulic clutches. We'll just check to make sure that the clutch is operating. It appears to be operating. Got some resistance there on the clutch anyway. So what we'll do is, before we ride it, we'll knock the bike into gear, pull the clutch in and see if we can turn the back wheel. Okay, so we're in gear, pull the clutch in, and the rear wheel moves. So we know the clutch is operating correctly. There's the clutch released. So we're happy with that. Now all we need to do is top up the fluid, and well, that's the clutch done. So that's the master cylinder now up to the maximum mark, all nice and clean, all flush through. We know the clutch works, so we'll move on to the brakes. We're going to bleed through the front brakes. So we've topped up the master cylinder reservoir, so as you can see that's full. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start with the brake that's furthest away from the master cylinder. So on this bike, because we've got two discs, one either side, two calipers, one either side, this one is the one furthest away from the master cylinder. So same as before, turn the vacuum pump on, open the nipple, and then keep an eye on the reservoir and make sure that that doesn't empty out completely, but make sure that we've got all the dirty fluid out and clean coming through. So that's this side done. Now we'll move on to the other side. Now we drew quite a lot of fluid through the system on that first bleed. I always like to draw quite a lot of fluid through, so just remember to top up your reservoir. There we go. So same again, turn the vacuum on, open the bleed valve, bleed nipple, keep an eye on the reservoir. Here we go. we've definitely got air in the system, but we haven't got much because we've got a decent brake there. Now luckily for us, Brembo have put an extra bleed nipple on the top of the system here, so all this last little bit of air that's in the system we can bleed out of that nipple there. So there we go, we've got a good brake now. We're not back to the bar at all, and we've got no more air coming out of that, out of the tube. Quick final look around, make sure we've got no leaks on any of the fittings. We know the clutch is good. We now know that front brake's good. Just need to replace the dust covers on the nipples. 1, 2, 3. Okay, pop the cover on. Finished on the front brakes, but what we're going to do is we're going to do the rear brake as well, because I've just noticed how dirty the brake fluid is in here. So we'll just do that as a bonus for the customer. So exactly the same as before. We'll just get it apart, suck the fluid out, put new fluid in, and we're done. Rear brakes are all done now, nice fresh clean fluid in there. The reason why I haven't filled it up all the way to the top is because the rear pads are worn, so when the customer comes to change those rear pads at some point, you'll need to push the pistons back, which will mean that that fluid needs to go somewhere. So rather than overflowing and spilling everywhere, we've got a little bit of room in the reservoir. So that's the Ducati Monster all done. So we've done front brakes, rear brakes, clutch, new reservoirs, everything's sorted on it. So remember to like, comment and subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to see more of this type of thing, and let us know what you want to see coming up in the future. We do all sorts of bikes, all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. So yeah, feel free to comment away and let us know how you feel about it. Anyway, until the next time, we'll see you again.